We are a performance-based rock music school, the first and I think best in the country. Started in 1998 in Philadelphia, now with 45 schools across the country. Well, in our general school, 7 to 17, but the All-Stars tend to be like 12 and up. The students you see here at NAMM are the School of Rock All-Stars, which are chosen from these 45 schools through an audition process and recommendations from their teachers. And these guys get to go all over the country and play NAMM and ACL and Lollapalooza and tour with guest stars. It's a great time. The group changes over every year, so these kids have all been in the program at least 3 years, so they're fairly veteran crew. For the kids, it's all about reliability. So, of course I love tube amps and Marshalls, but every guitar you plug into a Marshall sounds different because of the tubes. So we like to stick to, Vox modeling amps and crates and simple stuff that I know is not going to break. But if we ever do like really good shows, then we'll rent nice backline. At the schools, it's 40% Strats, 40% Gibson, and 20% all over the place. And then there's trends. Like, so Adrian Belew played with us, and then because of him, 2 kids got Parker Flies. And then because of that, now a bunch of my kids have Parker Flies, like a way too high proportion for, like a smaller company. And then I have serious prejudices, so there's things I'll tease the kids about having that then they won't have anymore. Just getting them to take themselves professionally and seriously, and to remember that it's really worth putting that extra hour in before the show to get your gear all together, and you can screw around later,
I'm Zach. I'm 16 years old. I play guitar and saxophone, and I sing. I play a very beginner saxophone that I got when I was in 4th grade, and it's really beat up and not very good. It's a Selmer. I started playing it, I guess, when I joined School of Rock because they needed horns for certain songs. I started off playing in my school band, saxophone. Then I picked up guitar when I was in 5th grade, and I kind of practiced both of them at the same time. Just picked up guitar way more than saxophone, but I still play sax. I've learned a lot more about setting the amps and getting good tones, getting volumes right, using effects, etc.
My name is Damon Smith. I'm 13. A lot of the times it's really hard to move the keyboard. It's so heavy, and it's probably heavier than me. And that's a Korg Triton Extreme. It's got lots of different sounds. It's easy to operate, and I also got a pretty big discount on it.
What's some of the favorite things that you've done with this group so far?
Probably when we went to Germany. We went to Zappa now. It's a festival that plays Zappa music. And I've heard a lot of Zappa because we play Zappa a lot, and I'm kind of getting sick of it a little bit, but still, I like Zappa. Well, I want to be a musician. I hope that works out. Getting the gig is really hard. That's why I like this, because you don't really have to work that hard to get it. Except you have to get into the program, which is pretty hard. Well, really, all you gotta do is practice and not give up, because there's so many people who take up keyboards and then put it down for a while. If you just keep going, it's not gonna. Then you can actually go somewhere.
I'm Amelia Richmond, and I'm 16. I'm from Brooklyn. I sing, I play guitar, sometimes dance. I play a Seagull acoustic guitar and a Fender Strat much less often. I like it because it has really low action. I used to play an Ovation that just kind of ripped apart my fingers for a long time, and the Seagull just kind of plays like butter, and I love the sound. It sounds, a lot of times with acoustic guitars, you get that fake, steely, obviously if you're playing a guitar, it's supposed to sound steely, but you get that obnoxious, ringing sound, and I like just the way that the whole thing fits together and how they age. I've probably been here for 3 years now. The first year I wasn't in All-Stars, but last year and this year I have been, and it's just given me the greatest experiences of my life. I'm not the most jumping up and down enthusiastic person, but I'm taking this all in and observing it and loving it. I went to Europe this summer for 2 weeks with the Butthole Surfers, and So far in my 16, almost 17 short years, it's been the best experience of my life. I haven't learned that much about like specific microphones, but I've learned with singing with loud bands just to be like right up on the microphone and to just like I feel like it's less about the microphone and more about like your body and how you project and how you use your diaphragm. Obviously it has a lot to do with the microphone too, but I feel like you can't have one without the other. Like a good mic could be wasted on someone who's not fully using their voice. To girls who want to go in this field, don't be afraid to do it. Like you just gotta summon up all the courage that you have in you and just like step into it, because you can't, it's not one of those things that you can just like dip your toes in the water. You just have to like plunge right into it, because it's still a man's thing, and there's all these like nerdy guys around here like who know all this stuff about music, and it can feel intimidating, but you kind of just have to be able to hold your own. And I think that's the best advice that a girl could get in this particular setting or industry, or whatever you want to call it.
I think in general, actually, that's
Yeah,
good advice.
in life.